Log on to fitmanperformance.com for the latest and greatest truth about training, nutrition, recovery, and unleashing your inner greatness. And download your copy of my groundbreaking ebook, Use Speed to Get Lean, the Sprinting Handbook for Lifters at usespeedtogetlean.com. Hey everybody, it's your man Fitman, head performance coach right here at the Fitman Performance Center. And today's topic, we're going to get into, does your training style have to change when your primary goal in the game is fat loss? Now, before we get into it, y'all caught me at the right time. I just got finished with my workout. Post-workout, I've sweated all through the heather gray shirt, but guess what? The truth, the facts about the game still have to be delivered. The message still has to get out to y'all, regardless of me sweating through a shirt. That ain't stopping the message no matter what. Now let's get into today's topic. You see, many lifters, many trainees, and many athletes believe that when their primary goal in the game shifts to fat loss, that they now have to magically change or dramatically alter their current training style. They've heard the mythology out there about they have to start doing high rep sets, sets of 20 reps, and sets of 25 reps, and sets of 30 reps. They've heard that they have to start doing cardio every single day. They've heard that they have to start doing abdominal exercises to quote unquote shrink their waist. You see, all of those theories are smoke and mirrors. All of those theories are fake hustle, because you don't have to do any of those things, even if your primary goal is now fat loss. Now, I released a previous video called How to Get Lean, and in this video, we went over the #1 thing that determines how lean you'll get is your diet. If you are not in a caloric deficit, and if your macros are not lined up, then guess what? You're not going to get lean. You're not going to lose the body fat that you're looking to lose. And it doesn't matter how much you train. You could be in the gym training every day like Rocky Balboa. But if you go home and you are eating like Homer J. Simpson, dope, then guess what? You're gonna be going nowhere fast on your fat loss journey. So what does your training need to look like when your primary goal is fat loss? Here's the truth. Your training needs to look the exact same, except that you will add in maybe a day or two of extra conditioning to speed up the fat loss process, if it's necessary. So, those same 3 rep sets, and those 5 rep sets, and those 8 rep sets, and those 10 rep sets that you used to build your body, to build your legs, to build your arms, to build your back and chest and your shoulders, are the same sets and reps that you can use when you are in a fat loss phase. Because when many lifters and athletes get into a fat loss phase, they focus so hard on fat loss that they forget about the other equally important part of a fat loss journey, which is muscle retention. It's hard to retain your muscle when you're in a caloric deficit. So one of the ways that you do it is A, you don't go into an extreme caloric deficit, but B, you continue to lift relatively heavy weights. I've seen guys backstage, I've seen women backstage at natural bodybuilding shows, and you can tell when they have switched over to a high rep training scheme during the pre-contest period. Because they show up at the show, they're flat and they're stringy, and they look like they've lost muscle. And losing muscle is not the goal. So you've got to continue to lift relatively heavy. You don't have to change this element of your training at all. Continue to lift relatively heavy. If you already have a progressive strength training program, then it's going to go in waves where the sets and reps and the movements change anyway. So follow your same program. Now, on the conditioning side, a lot of lifters think they have to start doing cardio every single day for multiple hours a day. That's not how the game works. What you've got to do is start to do conditioning. And again, based on who you are, you might only need 2 days of conditioning. You might only need 3 days of conditioning because you can't out-train a bad diet. So take the 100 or 150 calories out of your diet versus trying to burn them through training. It takes too much effort and too much work when you can just take it out of your diet. Make your job easier. A fat loss phase is hard enough. So you don't have to start doing excessive cardio in order to get lean. So your training style does not have to change. Continue with your relatively heavy weights, your 3 rep sets, your 5 rep sets, your 8 rep sets, your 10 rep sets, all those rep ranges. Add in sprinting, add in pushing the prowler and real conditioning. No fake hustle treadmill, no fake hustle elliptical, no fake hustle Stairmaster, real conditioning that also builds muscle mass. And change your mindset to it's not just about pure fat loss, but it's also about muscle retention. Because you don't want to lose all this body fat, but at the same time lose a bunch of muscle mass. And then at the end, you look in the mirror and say, well, I've lost body fat, but I look small and flat and weak. Well, that's what's going to happen if you start doing all these high rep sets. Continue to lift relatively heavy, perform real conditioning like sprinting and pushing the prowler. 2-3 days a week, perhaps. This is how you train when you're trying to get leaner, when your primary goal is fat loss. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Continue to do what you're doing, but realize that the #1 element of getting lean comes from the table. Get into that caloric deficit and get those macros lined up, eat those quality foods, and you're gonna start to reveal the leaner body that you're looking for. Thanks for checking out the video. Again, I've been sweating profusely post-workout, but thanks for checking out the video. It's your man, Fit Man. Holla at a trainer when you see me at the center.